PALS is basically like we get two little kids, we mentor them, and we just kind of guide them through everything. If they're struggling at home, if they just need someone to talk to, we're just kind of there for them when we're their safe place, and I love it.
PALS is a program that we go to either elementary schools or middle schools, and we help little kids or talk to them kind of like a mentorship. They may be going through problems at home or in school. They may be the quiet one in the classroom, and they just need like some boost of confidence just to bring them up more.
PALS is a super fun class. It's an easy class. We don't have a lot of homework. We don't have a lot of things that you have to do at home, but we do have to do community service, and you will grow as a person. It'll be some of the best moments of your life. So you'll have a family, you'll have a class, you're gonna be challenged all the time to act better, do better, and be challenged. But if you wanna have a lot of fun, you wanna laugh every day, you wanna have an instant family, you wanna change kids' lives and be a role model, then PALS is the class for you.
PALS is an organization in which we go and aid the kids that really don't have that home set at their houses. They're really independent and they don't really get that love and nurture that you usually get as a kid. And I do believe that PALS allows them to get that nurturing, maybe not directly from a parent, but from somebody else. It helps build more relationships. You go out and see how it is to have somebody that doesn't have anybody, and it makes you put your life into a perspective of you should value things and not take everything for granted.
Those kids count on us for everything, so they need you to be there and to show up. So when we get and pull up at an elementary school, we are rock stars. Everybody in the lunchroom will stand up. They want to give you a high five. They want to hit your hands. You get to walk through a little tunnel every time that we're there. And so when they run up to the bus and press their face against the window and their pal's absent because they had a dentist appointment or something, they fall on the floor and cry, and we got to scoop them up. They've had adults let them down all the time, and that's why they were chosen for a PAL.
When you're with your kid, you forget about everything. Usually on the bus ride over there, everybody's stressing oh, I have a math test, oh, I have an English test. But once you get off that bus and are with the kids, you forget about everything because your focus is that child and making them happy. And in doing so, you become happy because you see the effect you have on the kid, and it allows you to see oh, I'm doing something good out here, rather than just stressing about stuff that aren't as important. The life of this kid is important right now, and making them happy as well as changing the world.
One of our big projects that we work on is our scrapbook. That takes a lot of our time. That's where we put all the lessons that we teach them and all the pictures that we take. We put them in the scrapbook, and at the end of the year we give it back to them. And that's kind of they can look back on it and see all the different memories that we did and everything that we learned. That way they can have something to fall back on. We are making them a homemade frame. We paint the frame, we decorate it, and we put a picture of us two together in it. We also give them one of our shirts that we have, the Be Someone shirt. We give them one of those in their size, and then we also gave them a backpack. We decorated the backpack with their name and whatever else, and we put those gifts in there and we give it to them.
At Christmas time, we do a Secret Santa where all the kids across all the classes draw names. And sometimes they know the kids and sometimes they don't know the kids. So I have a little form that they fill out on what things they'd like and about themselves. And so they secretly go get presents, and then they wrap them up, and then we have this Secret Santa gift exchange. So we all get together, and sometimes we do it off campus and tie it onto community service. This year we're having it just on our own campus, but then on a field trip. So we'll all be pulled out, we'll share a meal together, and then they exchange their Secret Santa gifts, so they get to know people across their own classes and their own families, because we're one big family here at Cy Ridge, not just the class periods that they're in. The PAL Pledge is basically, we started it with positive affirmations for the kids. So when they hear it, and the PAL Pledge has different things on it having good character, never lying, telling the truth. It also has things about being drug and alcohol free, being a leader, being kind, and always helping others. So if the kids are hearing it every week when we're there, they're being kind, they're helping others, and community service, it's their affirmation. But we also, all the things that we're trying to teach our kids is that we're trying to teach ourselves. And that it's just a daily reminder of saying the pledge of this is the person that we want to become. We should be already. But even when we teach honesty to a kindergartner, we might talk about Pinocchio, but honesty at the high school level also is cheating on tests and speeding and breaking the laws. So there's so many different layers to it. So we're looking at personal growth all the time within the PAL, and then how can they be a leader and teach that to their mentees.
I think the number one thing is just being kind to everybody and just not judging a book by its cover, just getting to know everybody for who they are and not what you see. That's definitely one of the biggest expectations.
I think Miss Winsman is like that type of person or teacher that pushes you to the max. Like she wants to make sure you're the best you can be, and by doing so she like makes you compete with the other classes. Not in like a difficult way, but she makes sure that you know that like, hey, this person's doing this to push you to be better. And in that way, it allows us to always keep in mind, like be goal oriented.
I love everything about Miss Winsman, her energy, her kind words that she gives to you every day. Like you could be having the worst day and she'd be like, no, you're happy, you're healthy, you're confident. Today's a great day. She'd say it over and over and over again, and she can just lift your spirits up. I love her. She's so great.
One of my favorite moments is when my pal like finally said I love you to me, because towards the end, we always say this thing where it's like you say you're awesome to each other or I love you. You know, my pal was really shy in telling me that, so I always felt like maybe I'm not making a difference in their life. But then like towards the end of like for us like to leave, you know, she finally said I love you, and I was like, you know, I felt like I actually made a difference in her life.
I have so many favorite moments that we have that you look, and each group is its own little class. You have good classes, and every class says they're the best class and my favorite class. And I say I love all my children equally, but you do have favorites that go on, the ones that are helpful and clean up and have the right answers. And I love when I get emails from teachers or principals or different people saying how amazing my kids were. And just the other day we had a 5th grader say he wanted to kill himself. And so the kid was crying and holding on to my kid, and we had to pull him off, don't go, and everybody's crying. But the principal said my kid was amazing. She asked all the right questions. She didn't cry herself till she got back on the bus. And so when I get the emails on how amazing my kids are and what they didn't panic in the situation, and is it school, is it home, is it your parents, is it something going on, bullying, asked all the right questions, we got all the information they need to get that kid the help that they need. But each year when I get notes, the Reach facility on Saturday emailed me and they said they were putting it in the paper, how amazing my kids were, that they'd only done it for 10 minutes and they could go through the whole search with parents, and they let them be the guides versus people that had been working there for years. They said my kids actually were better and could take them around and work with those kids. So it's always, I'm just a proud mama when I get stories and people email me on how amazing the kids are and what a difference it makes. And a lot of times you don't know the difference you're making. Just like teachers, you don't know the influence you make. But what's really special to me is when I had a kid that was a PAL in kindergarten or 2nd grade, and they get to be a junior and they become a PAL, and they can pay it forward. And that means if they were chosen to be a PAL when they were younger, they were in trouble and at risk, and now they've turned their life around so that they could pay it forward.